Hello friends, in today's video I'm going to go over my simple checklist that you can actually download for social media posts. So let's hop into this so you guys can see exactly what I utilize. And again, if you want this, I'll have a link down below. I will send it to you. You can utilize this however you want. Now, again, when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at a few different topics and ways to make sure that I have a very successful post or something on social media. So first off, you definitely want to be able to define your goal. Like, what is the reason why you are doing this? Are you increasing your brand awareness? Are you trying to drive traffic to a website or to a product, generate new leads? Again, you have to know exactly why you're doing this, because if you're making a video for the sake of just making a video, you're probably not going to get a lot of traction with that. So by defining your goal, this will help you out. But you also want to be very specific on your target audience. And that's why I have this here to remind myself, because I'm trying to visualize who I am making this post for. Because if I do not have anyone in mind and thinking, oh, everyone's going to enjoy this, well, guess what? Not everyone's going to. You want to be very specific and know exactly what you're trying to reach, because when you do that, you'll actually hit those people more often than not and not be scattering all over the place. So those are two big things that most people, again, do probably not look at in the beginning when they're creating any type of post. Now, obviously, you want to craft your own message, so you want to write a clear, concise, and engaging copy. Now, when I talk about this, you want to make it as short as possible and as simple as possible, because when you do that, the people that are actually reading this and trying to understand it, they want to be able to look at it very quickly and know exactly what's going on. If you write a long text going on about what you are offering or what you're doing or what the post is even about, more people are not are going to glaze right over that and never see it. And you could have all the best stuff behind that copy, but if they don't look at it right off the bat and know exactly what's going on, they're most likely going to keep scrolling and not look at what you have. So again, be very concise and be very clear what you're trying to do. And like I said, limit the characters on each platform. It doesn't matter what platform you're on. If it's on X, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, anything, you want to make sure that's very concise, because if you have whatever you're trying to write and all of a sudden you realize it gets a dot, 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 you're not even going to get your whole message across. And therefore, again, people are going to be confused and they're going to keep swiping. Anyone that's ever confused will most likely not follow through, because like I said, there's not that curiosity. They're just like, it doesn't make sense, and just move on. So again, you want to make sure that they're engaged. On top of that, you also want to include your CTA, call to action, learn more, sign up, show now. You want engagement, because again, the more engagement you get, the more people are going to click into and opt into whatever you're doing, because that will help them out, also help your business out as well. Now, going down to number 3, choosing your visuals. Now, this again is very important. You want to make sure you're selecting a high quality image or video that aligns with your brand. So we're talking about social media posting right here. It would not make sense if I now just had a picture of a lollipop or something come up, or even a sports car. Now, again, some people might think, oh, that makes total sense, but you have to think what your audience is thinking. And right now, we are talking about making a post on social media. So again, if I had Facebook pop up or anything else, that would make sense. Or even in my thumbnail I'm going to make for this video, I'm going to have social media posts. I'm not going to have just some crazy thing out there, because it's not going to be cohesive of what I'm talking about and not make sense. Because if someone clicks into the video for, say, YouTube, and all of a sudden they realize whatever's on the thumbnail doesn't make sense with the video, they're mostly going to kick off, and therefore again it's going to plummet your views. And obviously you want to get the most views so you can reach more people with your message. Now, obviously, again, you're going to look at the optimum size image. So again, if you're doing, say, Facebook marketing, if you're doing anything on there, you want to make sure your images are in the right spot, because if they are not, again, same thing, you're not going to see the right text, you're not going to see the right image, and more people are not going to click on it or be engaged. So again, you want to make sure and go through to make sure it all fits to where it perfectly should be. This is where we want to do test runs to make sure, again, all dimensions are accurate. Now, you want to ensure videos are correct length and format, same thing. So if you're doing a 16:9 or 9:16, it all depends. You have to make sure you're doing that as well. That's a fairly simple one. But again, if you're ever on Facebook and all of a sudden you see there's a vertical video and they have the entire space not filled in or anything, it can really throw people off. And the same thing on YouTube, if you do the vertical, it's going to throw people off again. So you want to make sure you're doing the right type of view for the video on each and every type of platform. So again, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, you're going to do more of the verticals. YouTube, obviously, you're going to do the landscape, and the time, again, will change probably throughout time, but that's what you want to do as of right now. And then you want to make sure you have the proper permissions, licensing, imaging, and again, you do not want to pull anything copyright wise, because if you do that, that can lead to strikes, it can lead to issues, and you want to make sure it's all your original content or something that you create, because that again will make sure you stay out that way. Now, number 4, I think this is actually a very important thing, timing and frequency, because when you are actually doing this, you want to determine the base of your audience activity. So say for Instagram, if you go into your Instagram, I have made a video about this, you can actually go back and watch that. You want to see the time frames when people are actually logged in, especially your audience, because if you know they come in at 9 a.m., it makes most sense to post at that time, because if you wait till say 11 o'clock when it really dips down, the chances of people actually seeing your post or your content is going to be a lot less, and therefore you're not getting as much engagement. And by the time they do log back in the next day at 9 a.m., more likely than not, there's already plenty of stuff that they've already looked at, and yours might get thrown to the side. So again, you do want to look at your activity for your audience, because this can actually make your post get a lot more views a lot quicker, and therefore again help it have more legs to grow and get to more eyeballs, which again is what you're trying to do here. Now, you also want to have a plan of frequency on your post. So again, whether you're posting once a day, once every couple days, once a week, whatever you're doing, you want to make sure you have that and you want to be consistent with that. So again, these are just checklists that I'm looking at each and every time. And number 5, again, this should be going without anything you ever do. You want to proofread. So double check your copy for grammar, spelling, punctuation errors. Again, it makes sense, because if you do not do this and there's a bunch of errors in your title, in your copyright, whatever it is, it's also going to show that you do not care and didn't put the time and effort, and therefore again it's going to make people kind of push back and not want to keep engaging with what's going on. Now, I will say there is some tactics to misspelling a few things. Again, depending if you're doing, say, a reel, that will get sometimes more engagement. But like I said, it all depends. You more likely not want to have 100% accuracy, or close to if you can. Again, common things like, say, a comma or a period in the wrong spot may not be the worst thing, but misspelling or not having the right text, that could be a whole nother issue. Now, posting checklists, though, the last thing you want to make sure you're looking at here are the hashtags. Now, again, people are going to say this is irrelevant, but I do think hashtags still play a role, especially on YouTube. I think for TikTok, even for Instagram, because again, it does put this in a little category. So people are actually looking, say, for DIY around the house or cooking. Your video more likely is going to be showing up in that category. Now, I'm not going to say it gives it 100% to show in that category, but it will help it out more often than not. Again, you putting it in there, it's not like it's going to hurt your video at all. So just adding that extra information would probably be a better option. Now, I'm not saying you have to go out and do 100 hashtags. You can do a handful, but what I would recommend is mixing a broad niche hashtags. So again, let's say we're doing a sports team like soccer. Soccer is a very, very broad hashtag, but if you wanted to do, say, a soccer ball, or even just say a simple like common group or something, or a team, you could then really start focusing down into a smaller niche, and therefore again getting more from that area. And like I said, that's maybe something you want to do, but you don't have to, but it is something I have on here, so sometimes I do think about. And on top of that, you want to collaborate with other mentoring specific brands, tag their accounts if you are doing this. So again, if you're trying to reach more people, it does not hurt to then tag other people, especially say like on Instagram. You can get that going back and forth, because if they take that video and then post it on theirs, then their whole audience is going to see it as well. Now, I'm not going to say that's the best way to do it, but again, there is possibilities of utilizing that depending on what you're trying to do. Now, granted, if you don't have a lot of people, this is something you probably can't do, but like I said, if you have that capability, it will help you out there. And the last thing I want to look at here is scheduling of posts. And then obviously we're going to look at the posting checklist, but scheduling posts. So if you're using a scheduling tool, make sure, again, it's at the optimal time, but make sure you do proofread everything before you hit the schedule post, because when that does go out, again, you may not realize it, and it could be out there for an hour or two before you even go back to check on it and see there's multiple errors. So again, make sure you do proofread it, but this is sometimes the better way to do it, especially if you know you're going to be away for a while. So if you know you're going to be away for, say, on like a Tuesday, you can ready make everything on Sunday and then schedule for that Tuesday. So therefore, again, it does take some time away from you and does save you some time as well. Now, the posting checklist, though, this is something that, again, is up in the air for most people. I have this on here, though. So just monitor your tracks, likes, comments, and you want to really see what actually is working wise, and you want to analyze this, because when you do see certain videos start getting more likes, more shares, more comments, you want to look at that and kind of manipulate why that exactly is happening, because some videos aren't going to get the most engagement while others are going to get plenty of engagement. This will actually help you out understanding what's working with your audience. So again, by doing this over and over, you're going to adjust and optimize to redefine your videos videos, your content to get better and better and better. And the additional tips I have here, again, you can look at this if you do want this, but that is exactly what I do to, again, have a simple checklist for effective social media posts. Again, I think this is a fairly easy way to do it, but again, someone may say that this is a little bit more difficult, but having a checklist makes my life a lot easier when it comes to creating content. So if you did enjoy this video, I greatly appreciate if you do hit the like button, subscribe down below. It means a lot to me. I do have that entire list. If you do want it, there will be a link down below. So again, put your email in, I will send it out to you, and therefore, again, you can get that entire checklist for free. Again, it's totally yours. You can use it however you want, and hopefully it helps you out in your next post.